Hello everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. Today we would be discussing about the chapter 2 of rural economy, that is economic perspectives of rural development. In this video I would be talking about the access to assets. So before we start the session, I would like to show an image to all of you so that we can kindly proceed with the discussion. I believe that all of you are able to see the asset pentagon and the framework of sustainable livelihood. So the discussion would be revolving around these topics only. So when we talk about the framework of sustainable livelihood, we see terms as vulnerability. So when we talk about vulnerability, trends and shocks are the key elements in the vulnerability context. They can have either a positive or a negative effect on livelihoods. Trends involve changes that takes place over a longer period of time, and shocks are usually sudden events that have a significant impact, usually negative on livelihoods. They are irregular and vary in intensity and include events such as natural disasters, civil conflict, losing one's job, collapse in crops prices for farmers, etc. Further, the asset pentagon, that is the livelihood capitals, that is financial, physical, social, human, and natural, would be discussed on the basis of which the livelihood strategy is built up. So, when we are referring to the term financial capital, it is the financial resources that the people use to achieve their livelihood objectives. And when we talk about the human capital, it represents the skills, knowledge, capacity to work, and the good health that together enable people to pursue different livelihood strategies and achieve their livelihood outcomes. When we are talking about the natural capital, it is a term used for natural resources stocks, for example, trees, land, clean air, coastal resources upon which people rely. And when we are referring to the term physical capital, it comprises the basic infrastructure and physical goods that support livelihoods. Key components of infrastructure include affordable transport system, water supply, dwelling unit, and sanitation, energy, good communication, and access to information. And lastly, when we talk about the social capital, we relate to the formal and informal social relationships from which various opportunities and benefits can be drawn by people in their pursuit of livelihoods. Now, if we talk about the livelihood strategies in the sustainable framework, it includes how people combine their income generating activities, the way in which they use their assets, which assets they chose to invest in, and how they manage to preserve existing assets and income. And then when we talk about the livelihood outcomes, these are the achievements, the results of livelihood strategies. Outcome can be examined in relation to the achievement. More income, increased well-being, reduced vulnerability, improved food security, more sustainable use of natural resource base, social relations, and status dignity, and self-respect, and such other points. These are set according to the objective of the task. Now, finally, the livelihood approach and framework basically originated in rural areas, but it can be applied in urban areas too. The framework of sustainable livelihood generally analyzes the risk to which the poor in particular are vulnerable and the strategies they adopt in striving to achieve livelihood outcomes such as higher household income. Livelihood strategies have different settings in rural and urban areas. Rural strategies often involve a variety of different activities as cultivating, exploiting common property resources, rearing livestock, etc. They are almost totally dependent for their livelihood on environment resources and on their own labors. They have very little access to different capital and labor. On the other hand, urban livelihood strategies are mostly dependent on capital opportunities that are available within the informal economy. Almost 3 decades back, it was evident that the understanding urban life was difficult by stating that life of a modern city is very complicated. The citizens have intricate patterns of common and conflicting interests and taste and beliefs, and individually and collectively, they have very unequal capacities to get what they want for themselves or from one another. From the tangle of powers and purposes comes a social life so complicated and partly unpredictable that any understanding of it has to be incomplete. So, I would like to take a small example to make the asset pentagon more clear. So, let us suppose a person who does not have land. So, basically, he is not having no physical capital. Even though if he is skilled, he is unable to work, due to which he is not able to earn his livelihood. That is, he doesn't have any financial capital. So all these parameters of asset pentagons are interlinked with each other. And I hope the explanation given by me makes the concept clear regarding the asset pentagon and the framework of sustainable livelihood. Thank you so much. With this, we come to the end of part 1.